So what is the solution? Because I know right now it's pretty heavy for you guys. I know that. It is pretty heavy for me too when I studied. And I was just convicted throughout the summer. And it's been a while since I wanted to say this, but I haven't really been given the opportunity. So this is the solution, I think. Okay? For the Word of God. Follow me. Psalm 27, 4. I'll give you guys a second. Okay, I'll read. One thing have I asked of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple. If I could look at the transcripts of you guys' thoughts, what you guys think about, what you guys talk about, what's in your heart, what gets you guys going in the morning, what's on your minds before you go to bed, what are you guys about? If I could see individually in your lives, Vegas, if I could see transcripts of what you're about, what you think about, what you talk about, what would I see? You know, if I could read your prayers, if you pray, if I could read your prayers, what would you be asking of God? What is the one thing that I see reoccurring again and again in your prayers? Just think for a second. What is the one thing? Is it to know God better? That I will seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord, that I will come after you, God. Is that the one thing? To gaze upon the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. Is that the one thing? So that I would be in a relationship with you, that I would feel your presence, that you remind me that you're with me, that I would be more in love with you, that you would remind me of your love for me. Is that the one thing? I think many of us, the solution is not to try harder, to serve God more, or to be more devoted, or to be more committed. I don't think that's the issue. Because we all know that we all have our limitations if we try to do that. And that's not the kind of motivation that will get us for the long term. I think the solution is because, or the problem is because we don't really love God as much as we could. Because if we were honest with ourselves, this is not the one thing that I think about. And if you're like me, even I'm not perfect. Even if you look at my transcripts, there are a lot of things that you'll see about. It's selfishness, it's pride, that's what it is. And I'm pretty sure it's the same for you guys to various extents as well. But the one thing you think about is not really God, but it's yourself. And it's because we are so exposed to this in our culture that we don't even think twice about it. Right? How your education is about you, your family is about you, your friendships are about you, your relationships are about you. Television is all you. It's whatever you want, you get to choose. Everything is tailored around you, yourself, the individual. I think the solution is not, how can I serve more? But Lord, how can I love you more? And that's always the solution. It's that a love for God always motivates, always drives us more than we can ever push ourselves for. And you know that if you serve God before out of pure intention, you know that a love for God will move you to serve so much more joyfully and so much more fervently, aggressively than just you making yourself. And you know, when you really understand how much God really loves you, you're all for him. everything is on the line. It doesn't matter. Right? That's what I hope for you guys as well, that you will realize that, when you look at our lives, we may not be as fired up as, say, churches in the East, or our brothers who are being persecuted, and we're not going through this stuff. But we can still live for God. We can. Our culture doesn't define us. We don't have to be shaped by it. We can still live for God here. And we don't have to do it because we have to. We do it because we get to. Because God loves us so much, and we can love Him out of a sincere heart. And that's the motivation. One last passage. Turn with me. 1 John 3. First John. This is not John. This is 1 John. 1 John 3:16.
What's John?
1 John 3. It's near the end of your Bible. Close to Revelation, where we first started off. 1 John 3. Before I read the passage, though, I know, chapter 3, yeah. But before I read the passage, I just want to say a few things. I think one thing that I want to say was, I realize a lot of you guys come because your parents come, or because your friends come. And that's great. But we want something for you guys that your parents can't give you and your friends can't give you. And it's something means so much to us, and we think it's worth us putting on things like these so that you can hear. And that's the reason why we have events. That's the reason why we have our weekly meetings. That's the reason why we, as leaders, serve. And that's the whole point. We are here to tell you about something more that you can have in this life that no one else here can offer. Okay? 1 John 3:16. By this we know love, that He laid down His life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brothers. But if anyone has the world's goods and sees his brother in need, he closes his heart against him. How does God's love abide in him? Little children, let us not love in word or talk, but in deed and in truth. A lot of us will say that we're Christians, right? And we'll say that we do things for God. And we'll back it up with a lot of different reasons why. I think a lot of the times we don't really understand that we serve because God first served us, and God first loved us, and that's the motivation. That is the motivation. Do you know why we can't be? Do you know why we sometimes, when we look at our lives, we're not as fired up as we think we can be? Do you know why when we look at these kind of stories and we read the Bible? Do you know why when we read these kind of occurrences, we feel like we're not measuring up, or that we've come so far from it? It's because we don't really know how much God loves us. If anyone has the world's goods and sees his brother when he closes his heart against him, how does God's love abide in him? And that's what motivates these occurrences. That's why people are willing to die for the faith. Who wants to lay their lives down for their faith? Unless you really, really, really believe it. Unless it really means more than your life to you. That's why these people are willing to suffer, to go through what they're going through. Not like they want it. Who wants to be tortured? Who wants to get their tongues removed? Who wants that? Who wants to be martyred, killed for the faith? Who wants to be thrown in prison? Nobody does. Who wants to have their family killed? Unless there's a greater desire, something that feels that means so much more to them than their own lives. Right? And we can have that. Do you know why we can be radical for God? And that even in this culture today, we don't go through persecution, but we can still live for God, and people can still see something's different. Do you know why? It's because God was first radical for us. And we can do crazy things for God because God first did crazy things for us. Because God came down as a man. Why the heck would God come down as a man? Why would God want to be a man? Look at all the things that we have to go through, all the stresses that we go through. Why the heck would God want to put himself through that? But it says in Philippians that he humbled himself and made himself nothing. Servant. God, who is king, who owns everything, made himself a servant. So that he can live amongst us. So that he can be radical for us. And you know what? At the point when God was most radical by sending his son for us, his son died. He didn't just die, he was tortured. If you know the story of Jesus, you know what happened. He was whipped, he was mocked, he was spat upon, he had a crown of thorns put on his head. He had to walk with all the wounds on his back, carrying a cross that was so heavy that he almost fell, just being crushed by it. And then he had to be put on that cross and have nails driven into his hands and feet. Why the heck would you want to go through that unless you have a greater desire, unless something is worth more? And if you understood how much you are worth to God and what it cost God to love you, you will understand why you can love him in return. Because at the cross, when Jesus, who is God's only son, was most radical for you, you know what happened? God left him. And he cried on the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me? God left him. God turned away from him. So that when we are most radical for God, even when we're doing the craziest things, God will never leave us. Remember the verse that we just read? Matthew 28, 18 and 20. At the very end it says, behold, I am with you always to the end of the age. God promises that he will be with us forever, because on the cross, he left his only son. Because we took his place. So that at the cross, Jesus became us. Jesus became Davis. Jesus became Crystal. And he took on the punishment that we should have been punished. And really on the cross, what you should see is not just Jesus, but also yourself. Because he took that punishment for you. And that is how much you're worth to him, that he was willing to take on your own crap so that he would die in your place. And that's the message. And that's why we do things like this. That's why we have a church building like this. It's so that we can tell people that this is a God who loves you like crazy. He's radical for you. And when he was most radical for you, God left him so that when you are most radical for him, God will never leave you. And that's why these people are willing to go. It doesn't matter. If God will love me this much, why does it matter? Who else would do this for me? Who else would go to that extent to love me, to care about me so much that they would humble themselves to nothing when they have everything, and they would die in my place for my punishment when nobody else would do that. That's the message. This is the love that fuels radical Christian living, that we can say to the face of this culture today. We don't care how much money you think we can make. We don't care what kind of reputation we think we can have. We don't care what kind of influence that we can have in the world. Because at the end of the day, it comes to nothing. It does. You are going to die. Someone else is going to have your position. Someone else is going to have your money. Someone else is going to have your material belongings. You will not have it forever. But there's a God that says, I want to give you something that will never fade away. And if you understood how much I love you, you will realize that this gift will never perish. So that even when you do die, you get to be with me. And you get to inherit my kingdom. So what does this have to do with the Great Commission? Imagine this God who went through all that, the very last thing that he says to his believers before he ascends back to heaven, he says to them, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations." He doesn't even say, "Okay, now that I saved you, be doers of good things," or now that I saved you, be good people in the world. Now that I saved you, build churches. Now that I saved you, repent from sin. It doesn't say that. It says, "These are the last words that I'm going to command you here on earth." And listen very carefully. "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you always until the end of the age." Why? Because I think this is what we are made for. Just imagine. This is what God has commanded us in His last days before ascending to heaven. This is the mission that we're here for. This is what we're created for. And how less of a life will we be living if we chose not to live like God commanded us and made us to do and made us to live? How less of a life will we be aspiring for? The Great Commission is not a call for you to surrender everything. It's not just a call for you to surrender everything, because nothing belongs to you in the first place. You're not surrendering anything. The Great Commission is not a call to less. It's not a call, as some of you may think, for missionaries to go and get themselves killed in a different country. No, it's not. The Great Commission is right here and right now. And we can still make disciples where we're at, in the places that God has given us influence in, with the friends that God has given us friendship towards, with the family that God has given us to love, with the jobs that we have, with the schools that we go. The Great Commission is here and now. Why? Because God wants us to aspire for more. The Great Commission is a call to more, not less. Because when you don't, think about this. Haven't the greatest friendships that you've ever had been bonded through hardships? How many of you guys, you sit beside someone and say, I really don't care what you're about, I just want to be your friend. And what kind of friendship will last, even if it does happen? It's when you're pursuing the same mission, some kind of goal together, like in a team. That's why in sports teams, the people in the teams get bonded so well towards one another. It's because they're pursuing something together. They're achieving a common goal. And as they do that, that's where the friendship develops. And honestly, I've been in a lot of sports teams, and there are people, I've even been on mission trips where I thought, I could never get along with this person. I was just like, wow, it's going to be a long 2 weeks. It's going to be a long, long time. But at the end of the day, we become great friends, because we find that in the times of trials and troubles, it doesn't matter. These little things don't matter. And the friendships will bond and develop in spite of the differences that we may have. And I think a lot of times we try to achieve the ends of the missions without doing the means of the missions. So we try to have those great friendships, or we try to have those great relationships without the mission. And that's where they fall apart, because without the mission, how do you plan on building strong friendships and relationships? That's a side note. Anyways, Great Commission. We'll hear more from Johnson and Ben later. I'm merely just doing the groundwork for you guys. Now, I want you guys to realize, like the song, this is a God who is strong, who's still doing the work around the world. And I pray, I really hope that it doesn't just remain a song, but it's a reality to you. That sin literally is broken, that He has saved us. And He calls us now to live a life of more and not of less. And if we understand how much He loved us, and how much He still loves us, and what it cost God to love us, that's what motivates us more. So, can I call the worship team to come back up? Please, worship team. we're going to get into to sing that last song again. And I want you guys just to come forward.